The sort of metal we need depends very much on the size of the punch we want to make. But you can use things like these old nails. Coach bolts are quite good, some sort of bolt. Here's an ordinary bolt. These are bolts that have been damaged, and you can't, I don't know if you can see that well, but the thread's been damaged. So this is useless for anything, but makes a great punch. This is a bit of square metal. That's quite good to get hold of. This piece came from between the locks on a door. So this goes through a door and connects one handle to the other, this sort of thing. The important thing about all these bits of metal is they're soft. You don't need hard tempered metal because we want to shape them. So anything like that, and I generally hang on to bits and pieces like that I find in a drawer just for punches in the future. These are the tools you're going to need to make the punches. I've got a standalone vise that's in my bench vise because I think the wooden jaws here are not good for holding metal. These are readily available, and I think it's worth having one in the workshop anyway. You'll need to be able to cut the metal, so you'll need a hacksaw. This is a large one, but you can also get a small, what they call junior hacksaws. Then for shaping the metal, you'll need a file. This is a flat file with a coarse and fine side. It's not a rasp, not a woodworking tool, so don't use your rasps. You also need a triangular file like this, or this one. They're used a lot for sharpening saw blades, so this is quite a useful one to have. Additionally, you will need a drill of some sort, and of course drill bits. Probably a very good idea would be to have some sort of little punch. This is a metal punch or a masonry nail to make a point. You'll see that being used in a bit. And lastly, you'll need a bit of emery paper to clean up the punches. This is a metal paper, but a fine sandpaper will do. And of course you need to look after your eyes, so eye protection. And very importantly, a piece of wood to test your punches in. And I haven't mentioned the very important tool is the grinder, and we'll see that in action in a little while. Most nails and bolts are too long, so I'm going to cut these a bit short for making punches. Like for example this nail, I'm going to take that down to about 3 inches, 75 mil, something like that's a good size. So in here, with my trusty hacksaw. Nice thing about soft metal is it cuts easy. So now I've got my little short starting block. What I will do is I like to just polish the edge on the file. You could do that on the grinding wheel, but actually it's very quick just to do it with a file. So that's my starting piece of metal, something like that. Here's a typical dot or eye that you might find in a moulding cut with a little number 9 gouge. So I need to find a punch that will go into there but be slightly tapered so that as it goes in it spreads the wood out a little bit and cleans up the edge. So I've got my practice hole, if you like, to match, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it onto this belt, it could be a wheel, and just rotate it until we taper just the top 1/8 of an inch is all we need, 3 mil, to get to the size of the hole. So here we go. So I would now try that in there, see how it fits. Look at that, it's quite a nice snug fit. That will probably do. So as simple as that, I've got myself a little punch. I probably might make that one a slightly longer taper, push that one back, but do practice on the actual dot or whatever before you do it onto your real thing. Let me just take a little more off that. There we go. That'll be perfect. Here's an eye tool for an acanthus leaf. You can see it's a lozenge shape, so the back end is rounded and it comes to two flat faces here. You could do this or shape this with a file quite easily, but we'll do it on the grinding wheel. So I'm starting with my round surface at the back here, and I've got to really put two flat faces. So let's see how we get on. Again, the thing should taper. That's really important, because these things go in and they push the wood out a little bit. I'll turn that off so you can hear me better. So what I've done is I've created two flat faces coming to a bit of a point. Now it is going blue. If this was a carving tool, I'd be in trouble because we're overheating it, but it really doesn't matter. But it will get a bit warm, so don't forget some water to dip in if you find it getting a little bit hot. So from the two flat faces, what I'm now going to do is just smooth those in like this into the round at the back, and with luck I should have a lozenge shape. There you go. And again, it only needs to be about an eighth of an inch or so is what you need, 3 mil, 4 mil, something like that. Check it in the sort of type of carving that you're doing, and that's easily done. There you go. There's our acanthus leaf eye. This is my favourite triangular punch. It's made from a bit of square bar, and it has somebody's name on it. I've had it many years and I don't know where it's come from. It's made from 4-sided metal, coming to 3 sides at the top and a very sharp point, tapering again as we've seen before with other punches. I'm going to make it from this bolt. I've already started creating a face like that. You could do it with a file. What we have to do is we have to present it square like this and then turn it 60 degrees. So we've got no, it's 120, isn't it? Sorry, 320 degrees. So three times we're going to turn it in order to get to the point in the middle. So let's have a go. You can see how it's been going so far. What's interesting is that geometrically, when I put this down flat with one face, of course this edge here, at the top corner rather, has to be at right angles. So I can use that as a guide each time. It's going blue, really doesn't matter, and I probably will finish off like this, or indeed I probably will just finally clean it up with my file. So a little bit more work to be done. I think you can see how that's coming along very nicely now. 3 sides coming to a point. I probably wouldn't make those sides so sharp here, so I would dress those with a file or on this a little bit. So that's our triangular punch. I'm going to make a circular or ring punch out of this coach bolt. It's got a nice flat end for the mallet here. First thing I'm going to do is actually saw off the thread at this end. So I'll do this. Then I'm going to use my file to clean up this face here. Now in this face will be the actual ring that punches into the wood, so we need to get that nice and flat there. Okay, and then I'm going to put a depression in here with my drill, but to begin with I'm going to use this masonry nail, which is very hard, just to make a little starting point here, because the drill bit will tend to wander. So then with my drill I'm going to start working a hole in the middle of this bolt. There you go. So there it is. It's about 1/8 of an inch, 3mm deep. It's not quite in the centre, I think you can see that. That's just my technique, isn't very good. But that's no problem, because we'll go to the grinder now and adjust the outside metal to get that accurate. So it's to the grinder next. The circular punch has to be tapered again so that it pushes the side of the wood rather than cutting it really strongly. So I'm going to do this on the wheel, and I'm going to keep an eye on that hole here, and I'm going to try and make the edge around equal. So you can see now I've got a thin line around the edge here. This side's still a little bit thicker, but what you want to be left with is a thin white line around the edge, and that's really, you don't want it too sharp, but you want it fairly small. So I will carry on doing that until I get that right. Then I'll test it in my piece of wood, see how it goes, and that'll be a circular punch. That's nice and smooth, something like that.